is one of the most reviled and beloved women in history. She's known as the most beautiful woman in history and one of the most famous. She is part of the cause of the Trojan War when she left with Paris willingly and unwillingly and launched the 1,000 ships to go get her back. We're going to look into her history, her biography, and see what else is behind just the mask that we know today. Helen was born in Sparta to Queen Leta and King Tyndareus. Her true father, though, was King Zeus of the Olympians. Zeus found Leta to be very beautiful and turned into a swan to have sex with her. Leta had an egg, and in the egg, there's two variables. There's two variations. There's either where Helen's by herself or where Pollux and Helen are together in the egg, and they are demigods. The same night that Zeus visited Leta, she slept with her husband Tyndareus, and so in the other egg were her mortal children with her king Clytemnestra and Castor. So Helen grew up in Sparta. She was very beautiful, very bright. She was beloved. Everybody loved her. She had a lot of divinity in her. When she was 12, Theseus visited, and he loved her so much he wanted to make her his wife. So he kidnapped her, took her home, put her up in a little, shut her up till she was of age, and her brothers did not like that, so they went and rescued her, Castor and Pollux. So Helen was rescued, and she stayed in Sparta till she was of age. It was time to get her married, and Tyndareus was very worried about that. She's very beautiful, she's going to be very desired, and any man that was going to become her husband was going to have trouble keeping her. And so the suitors all came. Among the suitors was Patroclus, Odysseus, Ajax the Lesser, Ajax the Greater, Menelaus, and Agamemnon, his brother. And so Odysseus, hearing about these rumors of Tyndareus being worried, he comes up with this plan that the suitors are going to make a pact, that they're going to swear to respect the decision that Helen makes, that if she is stolen, they will gather their armies and their forces and get together and go get her back. And they slaughter the oxen at the altar of Zeus and swear it before the gods that this is their pact and that they're going to keep it. Menelaus is chosen. He becomes king of Sparta, and Helen is his queen. They live together for years. They have some children. Hermione is one, a couple sons, and they're fairly happy considering things. At the same time, Paris, he is a son of Hecuba and Priam. He was supposed to be killed in the wilderness because when he was born, Hecuba had a dream that he was going to be the downfall of Troy. The farmer who was supposed to do this could not kill a baby, so he raised him for himself. And so Paris was unaware of his destiny for a long time. One day, while he was guarding the sheep, 3 goddesses, Athena, Hera, and Aphrodite, came to him. They wanted him to settle a dispute. Who was the most beautiful goddess of them all? And so Hera, queen of the heavens and wife of Zeus, offered him land and great honor. Athena, daughter of Zeus, wisdom and battle. She offered him glory in battle and wisdom beyond all measure. Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, offered him the love of the most beautiful woman in the world, who was known to be Helen, queen of Sparta. Paris decided that he was going to choose Aphrodite's offer. Now, in anger, Hera and Athena say that he will regret that decision. But Paris, not knowing any better, kind of scoffed. And so Aphrodite said that the most beautiful woman in the world was Helen of Sparta. So he went to visit Sparta. At the same time, Menelaus' father died, and he went to go oversee the funeral preparations with his brother. So Helen was left to entertain the guest alone. During that time, she either fell in love with him under the influence of Aphrodite or herself, or he kidnapped her. But they ran away together to Troy. Paris had found out his destiny in the meantime, and so he went and got her, and they headed to Troy, where they were welcomed with open arms from Priam. Priam was happy to have his son back, and Helen, she was beautiful beyond all measure. Hecuba was a little more weary. She is a acolyte of Hecate, goddess of magic, and she was a little forewarned of what was going to happen if Paris and Helen came back. The Trojan War started when Menelaus came home and he found his wife gone and with his guest. They broke the rules, the guest laws. And so he gathered the suitors in that pact and they set sail for Troy. It says 1,000 ships went and 10,000 men went. And they landed in Troy and fought for 10 years to take Troy and take Helen back. Homer never describes Helen beyond being a fair woman. She's just very beautiful, very divinely inspired. A lot of people take that as she was blonde and beautiful. And so blonde, redhead, some people portray her as a brunette. I like it because I like that style because you can picture whoever you think is the most beautiful woman. I really love Diane Kruger as Helen. I think she did a fantastic job. She's very beautiful. And just whoever you picture to be beautiful. It's kind of lovely that Homer did that. Troy eventually falls. Hera and Athena work on the side of the Greeks and they take Troy down in anger. Hecuba's warning and prophecy came true. Paris dies right before Troy falls and Helen is forced to marry his brother for a time. They had no children, but Troy ends up falling and Menelaus takes her back. They take 8 years to get back to Sparta and she lives happily ever after for a while. Another version of the myth is that after Menelaus dies, that her children run her off in anger because of how many people die at Troy, and she gets driven into Rhodes, and the Queen of Rhodes executes her in anger and revenge for her brother who fell at Troy. Helen is a complicated demigoddess who is a little removed from humanity. She takes what she wants, she does what she wants. She was described as a feisty princess. She is one of the most tragic figures in Greek history, in my opinion, because I truly believe she was stuck between a rock and a hard place. She was under Aphrodite's power. She couldn't really fight against the goddess of love. I mean, her talents and her beauty were were from Aphrodite herself. She was blessed as a baby from Aphrodite. And so to anger whoever your patron goddess is not a good idea. And so I think she kind of didn't really have any choice in the matter, but at the same time, a lot of people died to get her back, and I don't think the blame rests solely on her shoulders, though. Anyways, but thanks for listening to Helen with me.